Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. Now, I'm not 100% recovered from my illness that I had, pneumonia plus other nasty things, but I just can't help it. I saw this, and I completely lost my... I live in New York State, sadly. Not New York City, way upstate, way far away. But unfortunately, like Illinois and many other states, we'll say Pennsylvania, Philadelphia runs the state. In Illinois, Chicago runs the state. And in this state, New York City runs the state. Now, I'm friends with a couple of assembly members, New York State Senator. I'd never even heard about this until I saw it on Timcast. Rumble files lawsuit to challenge New York's social media censorship law. New York's law would open the door for suppression, not open the door. It is opening the door for suppression of protected speech based on complaints of activists and bullies. If you're online, especially Twitter now, this is not an accident that this come up right around when Elon Musk bought Twitter. Before we get too far into the story, my channel's being very much suppressed here on this website. I won't even say the name because the algorithm will pick it up. The best way to help out this channel and get the word out is to take the link to my videos and share them everywhere you can on your social media. Everywhere. Email it to coworkers, family, friends, or any social media websites that you're on, Facebook, Twitter, even YouTube if you have your own channel, just to get the word out and get around this website's suppression. If you're tired of censorship, cancel culture, and erosion of privacy and civil liberties, subscribe to Claim the Net. This isn't really a bad website. Free speech video sharing platform Rumble and its subscription platform Locals has sued New York Attorney General Letitia James. That's the one that's back on suing Trump again. I thought she lost her election in November. I'll have to look it up. The challenge of social media's censorship law that would force platforms to target constitutionally protected speech. Things covered by the First Amendment. The old joke. People think that the First Amendment is just about free speech. There's a lot more to it. Freedom of religion. There's a lot of other things in it. That's why it's first, because that's the most important. And the old saying goes, and the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed, is second, just in case the first one doesn't work out. There's a lot of truth to that. Rumble and Locals are being represented by the Free Speech Nonprofit Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, FIRE, great acronym. And joined in the lawsuit by constitutional law professor Eugene Volokh, the co-founder of the Volokh Conspiracy Legal blog. We're talking about everything here. Now, is the blog and the person that does it, the YouTube channel, the Twitter posts, Facebook, you name all the social media, does this just apply to people that live in New York? Or anyone that can access to it if it comes from New York? Social media networks, hateful conduct prohibited. It actually targets speech the state doesn't like, even if that speech is fully protected by the First Amendment. The law forces a wide variety of internet platforms to publish a policy detailing how they'll respond to posts that are deemed to vilify, humiliate, and incite violence based on protected classes such as religion, gender, or race. The First Amendment allows you to say the most outrageous and ridiculous things. The First Amendment protects people like Kanye West, even though lately he's completely lost his... But he has a right to say those things. And here's the deal. This is about suppression of conservative and even, we'll say, middle of the road political views. Everyone, there's always going to be one, and purposely I might add, that's going to take strong offense at something you said or a video that was posted. Incite violence. There's many that think of my understanding is the 200-odd thousand on J6 and a very tiny percent, 0.25% actually went to the Capitol and got in the Capitol, that everyone that was there that did nothing unlawful incited violence just by being there. This is the biggest threat to the Constitution and the First Amendment in my lifetime. And the First Amendment also protects you burning the flag. Even though I think that's horrendous and ridiculous, you have that right. Now, granted, just because you can doesn't mean you should, but there's a difference between you shouldn't do it from cultural standpoint, but a legal standpoint is much different. Go to jail, be fined, ruin your life. It also requires platforms to create a way for visitors to complain about hateful conduct. Who gets to decide what's hateful conduct? Some faceless, nameless bureaucrat? I can guarantee you with 100% accuracy that the people that are on so-called boards that will be created when they'll have to would be the last people you would want conducting this kind of, we'll say, hateful content. Inquires them to respond to complaints directly. Every single time Elon Musk, every single time a conservative person like myself and tens of millions of others respond on social media, all it takes for one person to say, I'm offended. Platforms that refuse to comply are investigated by the AG's office, subpoenaed, and fined up to $1,000 per violation. It comes into force on Saturday, December 3rd, 2022, which is tomorrow. Now, I've got some text out to two assembly members in New York State Assembly, because I used to be involved in local politics because I was a city council member in the early 2000s here in upstate New York, council president in 2006. So I still have a lot of contacts. I've yet to get a response. We'll see if I get one. As is often the case with censorship laws, the social media network's hateful conduct prohibited law doesn't define vilify, humiliate, or incite. Romo suggested it would mean cover constitutionally protected speech. If it's protected by the Constitution, this law is unconstitutional. If I know that the law's scope is entirely subjective, that's right. If you don't like, and I don't, if you don't like Kanye West, a.k.a. Ye, saying things about Hitler and praising him, and others like him, then don't listen to it. It's that simple. If you're watching cable news and you don't like a certain channel's point of view and what they say, pick up your channel changer and change the channel. But no, progressives and leftists don't want that. They want everyone they don't like erased. Make no mistake, the Constitution is on fire. Who's going to put it out? The law's scope is entirely subjective. It's suggested it would target a wide range of First Amendment protected speech, such as a comedian's blog entry, vilifying men by mocking gender stereotypes. And most comments on almost any website that could be considered by someone somewhere at some point in time as humiliating, vilifying a group based on a protected class like religion, gender, or race. They'll be upset on purpose because they want censorship. I'm just going to breeze through here. New York politicians are slapping a speech police badge on my chest because I run a blog. I started a blog to share interesting and important legal stories, not to police readers' speech at the government's behest. Now, I've gotten rid of comments on my YouTube channel here. I extremely rarely block anybody from my channel. I might take away a comment that I thought was really inappropriate, but that's my right as the channel will say I'm the channel creator and conservator, for lack of a better term. New York's law would open the door for the suppression of protected speech based on the complaints of activists and bullies. This is incredible. This is incredible. This law is one of several attempts by New York to encroach on the First Amendment and push for censorship of constitutionally protected speech. Ban the sharing of violent crime videos online. Ban gendered language in law. Allow officials to use platforms that are suspected of, quote unquote, contributing to the knowing or reckless spread of misinformation. Who gets to decide what's true? Who gets to decide? A faceless, nameless bureaucrat. Now, as I'm making this video, I did receive a text back from a elected official in Albany, which is the seat of government in New York, and that individual didn't seem to know about it. So we're going to have to see how this works out. This is like worse than California ever was. I've got a list of reasons why I want to move out of New York. I really don't want to. I grew up here. I have a ton of family here. My mother is still here. She's in her 80s. I really don't want to leave. But this is a big deal. This is a big deal. We're going to see what happens. But here's the problem. It is unconstitutional, and the people that passed the law that are going to force it know that. Just like President Biden, when he waived all the college loans. He even said up front he doesn't think it's constitutional, but he's going to do it anyway, which, by the way, is an impeachable offense. Well, that's another video for another time. They do all these things knowing they're unconstitutional. Allow the lockdowns. Allow the mail-in ballot and universal ballot mailing. And a lot of places they knew was unconstitutional, either by the U.S. Constitution or the state Constitution. They did it anyway, because it'll take 6-8 months plus for it to get to a high court to be thrown down. And whatever they wanted out of it will have already been done. And it costs them nothing. It's crazy. This is nuts. I never thought New York would go this far, but they have. For me, the First Amendment, free speech, is indefensible. When I say indefensible, I mean it's etched in stone. These rights are given by God. It says so right in the Constitution, not governments. This is insane. And we're going to see if the average person, especially the younger people that spend a lot of time on social media, we're going to see, because we all know how the vast majority voted this last election. They voted D. They voted for this. We're going to see what happens and how many lives are going to be ruined, either socially, professionally, and financially, as you have to pay tens of thousands of dollars for legal representation. We're going to have to see. I'm glad this nonprofit is picking up the ball, and I'm sorry this video is going longer than normal, but this is huge. Anybody that lives in New York currently, get a hold of their New York State Senator or their New York State Assembly member. The numbers are easy to find on the internet. Even the governor's office, not that she gives a good damn about this and probably loves it, but they need to know this is wrong. It's called participatory government. If you don't participate, this is what happens. I pray that people listen. Until the next time, goodbye and good luck.